Hey guys, today I am going to be doing a tell-all wedding type video. Warning, this will be a long one, so you may need to go grab a snack or put it in the background as you are studying or whatever you are doing. But yes, I figured that I would do this because when I was wedding planning, I didn't have my channel, and so I know sometimes these videos are helpful if you're wedding planning or if you just like watching and hearing about other people's weddings. I thought that I would do this, and I also am going to be doing this because I was really wrestling. I was having an internal battle on if I was going to share my wedding video online or just keep it for us. And to some people, that may be an obvious answer, but I was struggling. Also, the videographer did incredible. He did absolutely amazing, and I just absolutely love the video. So one, like sharing it because he worked so hard on it and it looks amazing. But then also, like, I have family and friends that couldn't make it and I know would like love watching it, and also just like getting to share it with friends who were like able to be there that day. I don't know, a part of me really wanted to share it, but then another part of me was like, well, I think I do kind of just want to keep it for us. We also had some different like interview style things in the videos, and I wanted to make sure I respected the people that shared like messages to Sam and I, which were like so sweet and we love so much, and like that's kind of more private. So yeah, I think right now we're gonna keep it private. May change one day, but right now we're gonna keep it just for us. But with that being said, I still wanted to be able to like share pictures and video clips and just like some of the things about the day that I just absolutely loved. And if people ask me like what are some like cool ideas or things that they like would want to do at theirs, this is kind of the advice that I would give, to just kind of share like what I did at mine that I absolutely loved. So yes, sorry, long intro, but today's gonna be a tell-all. Grab a drink, grab a snack, it's gonna be a long one. Also, disclaimer, these are things that I did at my wedding. Everyone's wedding is different. You can do whatever you want at your wedding. So these are just things that I chose. If you don't like them, don't do them at yours. That's as simple as that. But anyway, let's get right into it. So with wedding planning, obviously there's a lot to it. It's kind of overwhelming. It did overwhelm me a little bit, but it wasn't as stressful as I thought it would be. Your wedding planning season is as stressful as you make it, truly. Obviously there's factors that you can't control, but you can choose whether you have a big, extravagant, expensive wedding, or you can keep it very simple and bare bone. That day is about you and your person and your love. So do not feel like you have to have a big, extravagant, crazy wedding. But I guess my first little tip slash thing that I did that was really helpful was when I was looking for venues and places to have the wedding, I really didn't know what I wanted, so I kind of kept my mind very open and looked at a lot of different options. But we ended up finding a place that I was absolutely obsessed with. It was like this historical estate, and they included a lot in the wedding package, so we didn't have to pay for like linens and dishes and chairs and tables and all of that. Like all of that was already included in the price, which I'd highly encourage if you are looking for a venue. Try to find somewhere that includes a lot in the price so you're getting more for your money. But I didn't really go crazy when it came to vendors. I did do photography and videography, and then DJ was someone that actually works like with the venue, so I decided to go with them just because they obviously like work with them. They know kind of how to do weddings there and stuff, so I ended up loving that decision. But other than that, I think the only vendor I did was flowers, and I originally was not going to do flowers. I was gonna try to DIY them, just get like fake florals off of Amazon, and it may work for some people, but I did not dedicate enough time to finding good flowers. So like a month before, I think it was, my sisters were over at my parents' house and they were like, this isn't it, these don't look good. And so it was like, stink. I was a little stressed, but we ended up finding an incredible florist, and we were like, listen, we are a few weeks out, do whatever you need to do to make this great, okay? Just do whatever you need to do. And he came through. He was incredible. I love my florist so much. He saved the day. So I did end up going with florist. Honestly, I didn't mind paying the extra money because it took off a lot of stress, which was more important. So sometimes you just have to pay a little extra money if it means you are not going to be going crazy and stressing about something about your wedding day. Also, another thing that I did is I got a lot of decorations and stuff off of Facebook Marketplace and through like local wedding vendors. I didn't even know that was a thing, and I found it and it was great. I got like, they just like rent out stuff for like 3-day periods, super cheap, and then you just return it. It was amazing because half the stuff that you buy for your wedding you don't end up using anyways, so might as well just rent it out from a local vendor or find it cheap off of Marketplace from someone else's wedding. So that's another little tip that I would give as well. Okay, before I get into kind of just like recapping the entire weekend, another thing that literally saved my life, I'm being a little bit dramatic, but it was incredible, was finding like a wedding app. So I ended up going with Zola. That's actually how I found my venue. It's similar to the Knot if you haven't heard of it. But I downloaded both, ended up really liking Zola, and I loved everything about it. It had like a little checklist to kind of keep me organized on like what month, kind of like what I should probably be getting done, so I don't have everything built up at the last minute. And I was able to order like bridal shower invitations, wedding invitations I got through Zola, and they always had like 40% off going on. It was great. I highly suggest. The only things that I would kind of say I didn't love about Zola, and maybe they will update this, is the registry was a little bit difficult. People did say that they had kind of a hard time with it, and there were times when like it didn't track gifts that people got me, or things got mixed up, which kind of made things a little bit complicated. It wasn't a huge deal. And then also sending out mass emails and texts were kind of complicated. So if that's something that you are going to be wanting to do like throughout your wedding, maybe you're having like a destination wedding and you have to keep in contact with all of your guests, maybe don't use Zola. That's just my little tip. And yeah, sorry, I have notes down here if I'm looking down, but I think that was everything on that note. Okay. A few of my other little tips was, okay, yes, this one. So I ended up doing my own hair and makeup, and actually my sister did. Actually, what am I saying? I ended up doing my own makeup. I did hire someone to do hair because that was one thing I did not trust myself to do, and I wanted it to look really nice for my wedding day, so I did end up finding someone to do my hair. But makeup, all the girls did on their own. My sister did mine. It came out incredible. One thing that I will say is, if you are eerie about what everything is going to look like, definitely do trials before. I ended up doing one trial with my sister, and I praise the Lord that we did, because we didn't have the right products. I looked like an Oompa Loompa that was like just powdered sugar on her face. Like, it was rough. It wasn't my sister's fault. It was just my products. I did not have anything good. So I ended up needing to go shopping for new makeup. We did a second trial and it looked amazing. She did so great. So definitely do many trials. Also, when you get your dress, your shoes, your jewelry, put everything on before the wedding and just take a look in the mirror and be like, do I like how this looks? Because you may find you don't like the jewelry or the shoes or the makeup with it. Like, just try everything on. That way you're not like 20 minutes from walking down the aisle and you look in the mirror and you're like, I look crazy. Like, we don't want that. We do not want that on your wedding day. Definitely do many trials. Also, just another last fun thing that I did is I had like wedding playlists that I had made with the song that I chose to like walk down the aisle to and our first dance, and like that my parents would walk down to, and I was playing that playlist like all like the days before the wedding, the weeks before the wedding, months before the wedding, constantly playing it to just get me into like that mindset. And this was like something I didn't realize it like made a huge difference. Like, every time I heard a song, it got me so excited, and then on that day it got me so excited hearing it. So highly suggest doing that. Okay, now that I have kind of gone through all of my tips and tricks, I'm gonna share about my wedding weekend and just everything that happened, some of my favorite things, all of the details. So first up, rehearsal dinner the night before. So Sam's parents did like put on the rehearsal dinner for us, and it was beautiful. It was incredible. Literally everything I could have asked for. It was amazing. I will say though, the night before, it was crazy, like mentally, what I was going through. So I have no idea why, but it kind of like hit the day before the wedding, and it did not feel like I was getting married. And it honestly was crazy because I didn't feel like I was a bride. I didn't feel like I was getting married. I didn't have like those super exciting emotions that you see like in the movies, and I literally felt like something was wrong with me, and I almost cried many times because I was like, why do I feel like this? It kind of makes you doubt. You're like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? I know that I did the right thing. I know that I married the right person, but it still was like very strange. And so I remember after the rehearsal dinner and everything, Sam and I like went for a walk while the girls were stuffing my little like confetti things the night before, and we were both just like sharing our feelings and our thoughts. We both were kind of in like a weird mental rut, and we didn't know what it was. So it was nice to just be able to take a walk together, which I also highly suggest if you can do that the night before your wedding. Take that time, just go walk. We shared about like what we were feeling, maybe some of our like nerves or things that we were worried about for the wedding day, and then we just also took time to just pray together, which was amazing. Highly suggest. And then after that, actually the northern lights were out the night before my wedding, which was so cool, like a bucket list item to be able to like get a picture of them. I was able to do that the night before, so like all the bridesmaids, we all were down there taking pictures and just like looking at the lights. It was beautiful. But yeah, so after that I went and I got into bed that night, said goodnight to like the girls, and I again was like in such a mental rut, and I just remember praying like all night. Like I had a kind of a hard time sleeping, so I was up all night just praying, and I was praying that I would wake up and it would feel like the most magical day, and that whatever mentally was going on would just go away and it would just be the most perfect day. And sure enough, the Lord answers prayers. He hears his children, okay? Because I woke up and I, not right away, felt better, but I kind of like went in to see the girls, hopped on the bed, kind of told them what I was feeling, and Jalen popped that music on, and instantly it felt like my wedding day, and it was incredible.
Good morning! It's wedding day!
Mother of the bride.
So yes, Jalen put a playlist on, which again, music helps incredibly. Make a wedding playlist of just songs that are going to help get you in the right mindset. We blasted the music, we danced around. I had all of the girls like thrift button down shirts to wear, so we all kind of like had our button down shirts. It was just the best morning ever. Some of the girls went out and grabbed some Dunkin'. We filmed different reels, took all the pictures. It was a blast. So like I said, I had my sister do my makeup, I got my hair done, we were all getting ready in like this beautiful room that the venue had together, and that was just the best ever. One thing that I did also do is I wrote letters to all of the bridesmaids and my like mother figures that were there, so that was super like fun and just sweet to be able to do that for them, because it's not like often that you get to just like write down just like a little note to them. I mean, you could do it whenever, but like we really don't, if we're being honest. So it was so nice to be able to just kind of share like my love for them through a letter. And then I also did like custom jewelry for them. I found someone local that makes custom jewelry, and that was kind of like their gift for that day that they could wear on the wedding day. So if you're looking for ideas, that's something that I did that was really fun. And then another thing is that Sam and I also wrote letters to each other as well. We didn't see each other before the wedding ceremony, but we did just want to do something. So we had like one of my bridesmaids go grab the letters, and that was super fun to be able to read that morning as well. Let's see. Okay. One of my tips that I did not follow, and I'm probably going to tell you, and you're probably not going to follow it if you were getting married, is you got to eat that morning. And I cannot eat when I'm nervous. Like I literally cannot put anything in my stomach, and I wanted to because the most incredible people that were there went and got my favorite meals. We had Chick-fil-A, we had stuff from like our favorite local bakery, like they got everything, and I didn't eat because I just was so nervous. And so if you can, try to force yourself to eat, because I still think about that food and how I did not put it in my stomach, and I am upset at myself because it was so good. Anyways, try to eat. Okay, so at this point, I was literally about to pee my pants. I said I think about 5 different times, like, I'm gonna pee my pants. And then when you got the dress on, you can't really pee your pants. And so I was nervous. I had all the butterflies. It wasn't like a scary nervous. It was more just like I have to go stand up in front of a lot of people, and it's just like your wedding day. It's all about you, and I don't really do good with like attention on me, so I was scared. But the photographer and videographer ended up arriving. We got pictures taken, which that was super fun as well. Kind of just like taking your mind off of the nerves. Is just being able to like do all those fun things that you dream about doing with all the people that you love. Okay, another tip that I also thought of was oh yes. So when it came to taking like detail pictures for the photographer, one thing that I didn't think of was I put all of like my jewelry and everything that I wanted in the pictures in a box and gave them to a bridesmaid to bring to the photographer. I didn't think about getting them back before my pictures. So in like all of my bridal portraits, thankfully my hair was covering my ears, but like I didn't have any of my earrings on or anything because I didn't have them. And thankfully I noticed like right before I was walking down the aisle, because I wouldn't have worn like my jewelry or anything and had it, which obviously I wanted to because I picked it out for the wedding day. So if you were doing detail shots, definitely like appoint someone to bring your jewelry and stuff back that you need to be wearing for the rest of the day. Okay, another tip that I have is if you aren't doing a first look, Sam and I didn't do one, he saw me for the first time down the aisle, definitely try to get as many pictures as you can done on the front end, because afterwards then, since you didn't see each other, you're gonna have to get all of them done after, like during cocktail hour, which can sometimes be a time crunch. So try to get as many pictures as you can. Try to give your photographer a very detailed and organized shot list so they can just go through all of the pictures, and then you'll be all set. Another thing that I did that was super special was I did do a first look with my dad. That was just such a special moment. Do not regret one bit. I ended up writing him a letter and I was able to just like read it to him and have that moment together. Highly suggest if you are able to do that. Another thing that I also really wanted to incorporate into my wedding day that was super important to me was, I'm very sentimental, so I wanted to try to incorporate as many like family heirloom things as possible. So one thing that I ended up doing was I wore the same flowers. Like my mom had fake flowers in her hair on her wedding day, and I ended up wearing those in my hair, which is one of my favorite things about the wedding day, honestly. I also ended up having like a little handkerchief that was like passed down. I had my mom and dad's cake topper on my cake. Oh, another thing, I actually don't know if we did this now that I'm thinking about it. So I guess when my grandma was getting married, it was a thing to like put a penny with your birth year, I think, on it in your shoe. It like meant to like bring you good luck or something. And so my mom was like, oh my gosh, like we should totally do that with you. I don't know if we did it. I know that we searched for a penny with my birth year, and now that I think about it, I have no idea where that penny went, and I have no idea if it even ended up in my shoe or not, but that was another fun thing if you want to do that. I'm literally, that's like a mystery now I'm gonna hyperfixate on because I don't know what happened to it. So after we ended up doing the first look, taking pictures, we went up into like the little holding room and I just got to spend time with the bridesmaids. We were like staring out the window and we were like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. There's so many people out there. Another thing is I do wear glasses. Sometimes I do not, but I did not wear my glasses on my wedding day, so I couldn't see anything, which was kind of a blessing because I did not have to see how many people were sitting out in the seats. I could really only see what was right in front of me. So we were all up there. We got to have like the flower girls come in and it was just such a blast, such a core memory. Also, one thing I highly suggest is right before, we were all feeling very nervous, and so we decided to put Shut Up and Dance With Me, like the song, on, and we all just danced and sang, and instantly, I kid you not, the nerves left my body. Like they were still there a little bit, but I was so nervous, and then we sang and danced all together and I was chill. Okay, highly suggest doing that. Also, we also prayed together. Like the girls took some time to pray with me, which that was huge as well. Take time to pray. Help, again, just calm nerves, just ask the Lord to bless the day. That was such a special moment as well. Next, after that, we went downstairs and it was time to walk down the aisle, and I really was about to pee my pants. But I heard the music, like I said, that I had been listening to months before, and in that moment, all of my nerves went away. Like every nerve in my body that I had went away. Ultimate peace whenever I heard the first song playing that I had picked out for like grandparents and parents to walk down to. So that was super like wild, and that was crazy. And honestly, I can say that my wedding day was perfect from my point of view. And every time people asked me after I got married, they were like, "Oh my gosh, how was the wedding?" And I was like, "It was perfect. Like it was absolutely perfect." And all of them look at me and they're all like, "Wow, not many people can say that about their wedding day," or "That's great, because I cannot say that about my wedding day." And I was just like kind of confused, because I was like, maybe it's just because like I didn't like really care too much about the little things or like what could go wrong, but I don't know, it was amazing. And I know 100% that it was the Lord just like blessing that day and just putting everything in place and just giving me like the ultimate peace. But anyways, I just thought that I would share that. The power of prayer is real. So again, everything was kind of a little bit like scary, but then I heard the music, walked down the aisle, and after that, smooth sailing. All the nerves were gone. Another thing is that I chose to walk down to the song Gratitude, which I've talked about this on my channel before. My word for last year was gratitude, and game changer, okay? I don't know if I'm gonna get a tattoo, but if I do, that's one of the words I'm gonna get put on my body. Gratitude. It's changed my life. And so I walked down to that, and guys, this is another little moment. If anyone asks me if the Lord is real, I'm gonna tell them this story. So I chose the song Gratitude. It's a worship song. It's not a song that you can just loop instrumentally and have it sound good, because the guy's talking. So I was waiting to walk down the aisle with my dad, and Gratitude is playing. I'm listening to the words, I'm enjoying the moment, and then all of a sudden I hear the part of the song right before the ending, and the flower girls hadn't even walked down yet. And so all of a sudden I'm panicked a little bit. I'm like, "Dad, the song's about to end." And I told the coordinator, because she was standing there, and I was like, "The song's about to end." And she was like, no, there's plenty of time. I don't think she's listened to Gratitude, but she was like, "There's plenty of time. We can just loop it back through if we need to." And in my head, I was like, we can't just loop it. It's a worship song. He's going to be saying like words that don't even make sense in the moment. And so I was a little bit panicked as I was watching the sweet, adorable flower girls walk down. They were the best part. They helped relieve me of the nerves. I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so cute." And then I was like, "Oh my gosh, the song's about to end." I was like, whatever. I have no control right now. My dad and I start walking down. The song ended exactly when my foot touched the end of the aisle. It was a God moment. I literally, afterwards, people came up and they were like, "That timing of that song was perfect." And I was like, I don't know how. The Lord did that. I did not do that. I kid you not. I'm still I still get chills when I think about it. It was crazy. Anyways, that is that. It was no words. I'm gonna move on. So again, I didn't have my glasses, couldn't see anything, but I was able to see Sam at the very end, and he had some little tears in his eyes, and I almost cried. That moment is gonna forever be a core memory for me. One thing that I wanted for my wedding is I wanted to have a very simple ceremony. Didn't want anything super fancy, so we really just had our pastor just share a few things about just like marriage, husband and wife roles. He did like a gospel message, shared our love story, and then we went right into our vows, and that was that. So it was perfect. Wasn't stressful at all. I thought I would be more scared, but it really wasn't as scary. I just like focused on Sam the whole time, and then we all cheered. One thing that we did do is we had the photographer take like a group picture of us with all of our guests, which is one thing that we wanted. So she was able to do it like right there. She just had us turn around up front, and then we were able to get like a great group picture with all of the guests in the background. And then I had my guests have like dried flowers, and they ended up throwing them up in the air. We walked up the aisle to Carry You Home by Alex Warren. That was a dream of mine, and so that was such a special moment. Although I will say, someone did get flowers in my mouth, so that was not fun. If you are thinking of doing that, keep your mouth closed. Smile with your lips like touching, okay? that was not good. But other than that, and picking flowers out of my hair and dress the whole rest of the day, that was amazing. The pictures were beautiful. I just got those dried flowers off of Amazon, if you're curious. They had some great ones. Okay, so, oh, on that note, another thing is check your venue for their fake flower, like, policy. I ended up buying a bunch of silk fake flowers for the flower girls, and then we learned that the venue doesn't allow fake flowers because, like, they're not biodegradable, so had to end up going to a florist and getting, like, flower petals for that. So definitely check your venue for that. Okay, now we're done pre-wedding ceremony. Moving on to cocktail hour. Sam and I actually didn't get to go to cocktail hour because we were taking pictures, but I heard it was beautiful. I heard it was great. I had fun watching back, like, the video and pictures from it and just seeing all of the guests enjoying themselves. We just ended up having some little, like, finger snacks at the, what are they called? The food people. I can't think of what they're called. You know what I'm talking about, that they provided. Then we did pictures with bridal party and family. And let's see. Oh, yeah, one of my regrets is that we weren't able to, like, eat the food at cocktail hour because I did help pick it out and I was super excited. So also appoint someone to bring you, like, we had mocktails at our wedding, so I really wanted to, like, try the mocktails. I only was able to have one because I wasn't able to try them at cocktail hour. So have someone bring you a mocktail or any, like, finger snacks that you want during pictures. That's my one regret, I think. I wish I had done that. Okay, so another funny thing is that because we didn't do a first look, like I said, we had to take all of our pictures after, and me and PDA, we're not friends. I don't do well with it at all. And so it was funny because literally all of that fear just left my body on my wedding day because I was just like, whatever, I just got married, okay? I'm gonna be hugging and kissing my husband. But all of the guests, like, there were guests that were just, like, watching us take pictures because obviously, like, we were just out there and they were like, oh my gosh, like, we're gonna go say hi and stuff. None of them came and said hi. They all, like, respect that we were taking pictures, but they were all just, like, watching and smiling and, like, waving. And so it's funny as you're just, like, trying to take, like, pictures with each other and you just have people, like, staring at you. It was a little bit crazy, and my PDA was freaking out a little bit, but also I didn't really care because it was my wedding day. But that was just something that was a little bit funny. All right, next thing, we're going into the reception. So one thing that I wrote down that was just, like, a little tip to all of the girlies out there. When it comes to music to walk into, sacrifice whatever you want. Okay, this wedding is about you and your husband. Some people may not agree with me on that and may be like, no, it's just about the girl. To me, it was about, like, I took what Sam wanted into consideration because it's his wedding day too. And with that being said, I ended up walking in to my wedding reception to the Justice League music. Never thought that I would say that I would do that, but it was his one request and it was great. And he was living his best life, let me tell you. So yeah, we had the boys and me and Sam walk into Justice League. Girls walked into Barbie, parents walked into Greatest Showman. So I loved that. It was so fun to watch those videos back. And then, like I said before, me and PDA and attention and just all of that, we're not friends. We don't go together. And so the first dance was the one thing about my wedding that kept me up at night. I was terrified. One, I don't dance. Two, I don't dance in front of people. And you're telling me I have to sit here with my husband being very, very close with all these people staring at us? That was a nightmare. Just kidding, it wasn't a nightmare. To me, I thought it was going to be a nightmare. But again, there's just something about being in that moment on your wedding. You don't care. I didn't care. It was just me and Sam in that moment. I didn't care what we looked like. I didn't care what was going on. It was for us, and everyone else just got to be a part of that special moment. So we danced to Lifetime by Justin Bieber. When I heard that song for the first time, I knew I would dance to that at my wedding. And then I showed it to Sam when we first started dating, and he knew we were gonna dance to that at our wedding. So thank you, JB, for pulling through. You are incredible. So again, yeah, that moment, super special. If you're worried about that, one thing that we did do for that is halfway through the song, we had the DJ invite all the other couples up, which I loved. I loved being able to have that moment with Sam and I. It didn't feel too long. People didn't have to watch us dance for like 3 minutes. And then other couples got to come up and just enjoy that moment too, and it was so special to just be able to like look over Sam's shoulder and like see our other loved ones like looking and smiling at us. Like, it was so special. That's one thing that I'd highly encourage if you are nervous about that moment. On that note, we did do the same thing for father-daughter dance and mother-son dance, is we had the DJ halfway through invite all of like the dads and daughters and mother and sons to come up and dance as well, which that was such a special moment for all those people as well. Because if we think about it, like, when else are you just gonna like dance with your dad or mom? Not often. So maybe if you want to do that, that's one thing that I kind of wanted to do, to give those people that opportunity, because life is short. Dance with your mom and dad. Enjoy that moment. So after our first dance, we then went into speeches. So we had maid of honor, best man speech. They did amazing. They did incredible. So special. The girl ended up gifting me like this clock with the speech as well, and they ended up having it like stopped at the exact moment that we became husband and wife, which that is something that I'm going to cherish forever. That is such a cool idea. I didn't even think about, like, when you're giving a speech, like also giving like a little gift for them to remember it by. So girls, you crushed it. That was so special. And then dinner, another thing, again, I wish I ate and drank more, because we specifically picked out this menu and it was so good, but I was just a little bit too nervous and I couldn't eat. I tried so hard, but I just couldn't do it, and I regret it. Again, it keeps me up at night that I cannot have one more sip of that mocktail or that Brazilian food. It was so good. So try to eat if you can. Let's see. I can't really remember the order of things at this point because it was kind of a blur. But we ended up going and taking like late night pictures. Sam and I really wanted that, just like upstairs of the estate, just pictures of us after the wedding with the photographer. So the guests just ended up dancing. And then we ended up doing an informal cake cutting. I didn't really want to do one where it was like announced and everyone was watching. So we just kind of had like the DJ say like, I think he just said like, "You're welcome to keep enjoying the night. Our bride and groom are going to go over and cut their cake." And so we did that. My piece of cake, I ruined it. I should have practiced cutting cake. I thought that it was going to be easy and it was way harder. And my piece of cake was like a little sliver. It was so bad. I just remember the DJ recording and him just laughing when the piece fell onto the plate because it was so small. So maybe practice cutting cake if you find that you are not very skilled in that area. But after that, we ended up going into the parent dances. And this is one of my favorite parts of the wedding day. This was just something that Sam and I are going to remember forever. So for my dad and daughter dance, we had gone through picking like 5 different songs, and we had settled on one that I absolutely loved. I was listening to this song all before the wedding. I thought that I was going to be going in and dancing to this song, and so the moment came and I got up and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to like dance with my dad to this song. And then the DJ was like, "We have a surprise." And in that moment I was like, "Dad, only you, only you." And he ended up writing and like composing a song, and I'm not gonna end up sharing that because we're just gonna keep that like special between the two of us, but I may put like a little clip in, possibly. I'll ask him if he wants that. But it was so special. It was a song that he had written just about like my life and with him, and it was just so special. And again, we had like the other dads and daughters come up, so that's something that I will cherish forever and was such a special thing. Dad, if you're watching this, it was amazing. Core memory. I love you. It was beautiful. And then after that, Sam had his mother-son dance, and Sam wanted to give a speech like before he danced with his mom, just to his mom, and there was not a dry eye in that room. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful, and such a core memory for me to be able to experience. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It was beautiful. He ended up picking a song that was like special between the two of them, and that's all on that. Perfect. So highly suggest maybe like giving a speech or just like really prioritizing like doing those dances. Again, you can do whatever you want at your wedding. It's totally up to you. This is just stuff that we ended up doing at ours, and I absolutely loved. So the rest of the night, we just danced the night away, had a blast with all of those that we loved. And then it came time for the last dance. So Sam and I wanted to do like a dance at the end with all of the guests gone out waiting by the exit and just a moment for us. We ended up dancing to Yellow, which is a song that's very special to us. And that was just such a sweet moment. Sam was crying, I was crying. It was very special. And then we ended up going out for our exit. So we ended up doing a bubble exit. We just got some bubble guns off of Amazon, and we just appointed some people to be like the little shooters of the bubble guns, I guess. So we did that. That was also something I would give a tip to maybe talk to your coordinator about a little bit more detailed, because we ended up walking out of our last dance and we had no idea where we were going. We were just kind of like, are we supposed to be here? And the coordinator, I think, was like focused on something else, so she was just like, yeah, like, and so we were like, okay. So we kind of like walked up to the door and we were just like, okay, I guess we'll just run out here and hope that there's people out there waiting. So we did that, ended up being the right place. That was super fun, just to be able to like say our goodbyes to everyone. And then after that, again, we had no idea where to go, so it was so funny. We were like, are we supposed to just like walk this way? Because the way that it was is we walked out of the venue, and then it was like kind of like a gate, so we could have gone like through the gardens, which is where the ceremony was, or like in through the reception where they were cleaning up. And so we were like, are we supposed to like walk back through these people to go inside? It was super confusing, but it actually worked out because we ended up just taking a walk through the garden afterwards, just like the two of us. So that was really nice, but again, super funny because like we would like run into the waiters that were there and they were like, oh, congratulations, and like talking to us, and they're like, you gotta go like look at the northern lights later. It was funny. We were dying laughing. So we ended up going back through the estate. We ended up taking just like some more like selfies in the reception. We ended up talking to family. We didn't go like off to our honeymoon right away. We just like took that time to talk with our family, thank them for the day and everything, kind of go over it with them just for like 5 minutes. And then we were actually able to stay at the estate that night, which was really nice because we didn't have to like drive all the way back to like a hotel to then leave the next morning, or like drive back to our apartment. So we were able to stay there, which was super special. And yeah, I think that's everything about my wedding day. The video is only 38 minutes right now, so I'm hoping I can kind of edit it down so it's not like a movie for you. But yes, that was my wedding day. It was absolutely amazing. Those are just some things that I had done at ours. Oh wait, I didn't even share it. So some of the other things that we did during the reception, in case you're looking for ideas, is we ended up doing a Generations of Love table, which was one of my favorite things. So I had just asked our parents, grandparents, and then siblings that were married if they could send over like a wedding picture from their wedding, and we could just put them in frames so like people could kind of see like the generations of love that came before us. We ended up doing what did we end up doing? Oh, we ended up doing like little postcards for our guest book, and then also like a video camera, which that's something that I do highly like would suggest too if you're looking for an idea. Is we just like bought a little camcorder off of Amazon, and it was so fun to be able to go back and watch like the videos that the guests had left us and just be able to have those throughout the year. I'm trying to think. I think that was pretty much everything. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely something that I'm forgetting, but I don't know. I think that's everything. I mean, if not, I can always, if you like enjoy the wedding style videos, let me know and I can make more. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get this out while like I'm still in this stage of life. I think we're gonna be going on 4 months of marriage now, so I was like, might as well do it now, so like if I don't forget, it's not like I'm like a year married and I'm making like a video about my wedding. I mean, you could still do that, but anyways, I'm babbling. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was helpful if you're getting married, and I hope you have an incredible day or night or morning whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video.